do. Do. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Q4 roadmap for Star Wars: The Old Republic. This is going to be the review and Q&A stream for this. We did this for the last roadmap, and I think everybody liked it quite a bit, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. So the first question that I want to ask everybody is, for those of you in chat, who has not seen the roadmap yet? Who has basically heard nothing? I'm curious as to that. Who's not seen it? Who's heard nothing? Maybe you've heard a little bit, but just trying to get an idea of the numbers on that sort of thing. But the roadmap did get released today, obviously, and it's got some pretty good stuff in it. So we'll be checking that out here in just a second. Of course, welcome to all of you lovely people in chat. Novik, Rafferty, Blindside Brian, SWTOR John, Jamerical, Dark Ilitari, Libby, Race Van, King of Mexico, Canadian Bacon, Race Van, Trig. There's a lot of people.
Enjoy your stay.
Also, two of the Little Lies, not all of them, but just two of them. Thank you for the follow. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to kick this off with the big info. We're going to kind of skip around here just a little bit, but we're going to start it off with the big info, which is going to be this right here. So they're going to be doing something called United Forces, and we'll get into exactly what that is here in just a second. But as we scroll down here, the big news that everybody has been waiting for is right here in this section right here, where it says we will be integrating our existing 17 servers to 5 new servers. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, server mergers are happening as I predicted. You can thank me later. No, I only get partial credit on that because I've been telling you guys for a while that it's going to happen. But I said next year. I didn't think they were ready. So the fact that this is actually going to happen in November is a pretty big surprise, I think. I think, you know, like I said, myself included, we had no idea that they were ready for something like this. So what does this mean? What does this mean? So let's scroll down here. And this is going to be the big thing. And I don't know if I have a way to really... Can I zoom in on this so you guys can see it better? I can a little bit. All right, cool. There we go. So here are your existing servers merging into the new ones. Okay? So take a good look at that. One thing that I did predict correctly was the fact that there's only going to be 2 US and 3 European servers. So we did get that right, which is going to be pretty cool. The only thing that is kind of weird about this is I was kind of wishing that Harb and Shadowlands would get merged together. That way I would only have to be on 2 servers rather than 3, but it looks like I'm still going to be on 3 servers. So the other really funny thing is the hot topic of today has actually been the name of this particular server. Everybody's like, wait, what? It's kind of a weird name, right? Now, apparently, as we have discovered, Musco's going to talk about this tomorrow, but it's actually in reference to something in the original coder. It was actually a ship, I believe. It's either a ship or a space station, one of the two. But yeah, everybody should be able to see the list there, so that's where you're going to be going. Now, of course, this opens up a lot of other questions. What's going to happen to my name? What's going to happen to my stuff? And all this and that. And so we're going to briefly go over that. They actually go over it pretty well down below here. And it's basically, you know, how am I affected? It's their intent that the process will have very little impact on you and your account. Now, if we actually scroll down here, character names is always the big one. And it says here, in most cases, nothing will happen to your character name. Names will only be impacted when there are 2 of the exact same name on the new servers, which I think that's, you know, pretty self-explanatory. So if you're going to be merging into something and somebody already has your name, you're going to have to do a rename. There's just no way around that. Now, it does say here that premium players subs will have a priority over the free-to-players and preferred status when it comes to names. And then in addition to that, highly played characters will have an even greater priority over the character names versus ones with less playtime. Then down in here, it also says that they're going to be doing something with characters beyond level 10 will be flagged to rename their characters and then have not logged in for 90 days as part of that as well. Now, I'll tell you something that I'm going to do right now. Well, not right now, but is on pretty much every server, I actually have Kidley, and most of that's on low-level tunes. I'm actually going to go, and I'm going to delete all those characters. It's just so there's no, you know, issues with getting the name that I want. A little bit lower on the list here, they talk about friends list. Following the update, you may see new names on your friends list. The list will automatically be updated for any of your friends who change their character names, which is really nice. The ignore list, your ignore list will not be affected, so that's good to know. GTN, the listings will also not be affected. Mailbox will also not be affected. Appearance designer, it says here, will not be affected. How will character transfers work? Players will be able to continue to transfer their character transfer tool until October 24th. What will happen to my legacy? Since legacy names are not unique, you will not lose your legacy name as part of the process. However, if you have 2 legacies, when they are brought together, the name and level of the highest legacy is the one that's going to be maintained. Now, under Legacy Unlocks, Legacy Locks are completely unaffected. Legacy Currencies, any legacy currencies such as command tokens are not affected. If you have more than 1 legacy, these will be combined currencies together to your new legacy. And I suppose I should stop for a second for any questions you guys might have in chat. So Canadian Bacon was saying cutting down to 5 servers in second round of mergers, no more servers designations. Another step closer to the official maintenance mode. Oh, did Musco actually say? Yeah, he was actually, we were chatting on Twitter a little bit today. And yeah, he was talking about that hot prospect name. And apparently the devs are going to have a stream tomorrow, and he said he was going to talk about it. Many hamsters will die doing so. So Legacy Bank, again, the contents are not affected. If you have more than 1, they'll be integrated during the United Forces update. And again, this whole, you keep seeing United Forces, United Forces. We'll go back to that here in just a second on exactly what that is. It's basically just the name of their update, but we'll get into it. And this one here's been, there's been a lot of questions on this one in particular regarding strongholds. It says here that active strongholds will be unaffected by the update. If you have strongholds from more than 1 legacy coming together, both will be added to your list. If you have more than 1 of the Pacific stronghold, they will both be accessible. But now, I was seeing some chatter on this, on people either worried or concerned about this, on how it might not happen correctly, or they might have to redecorate. Even though right here it does say decorations are not impacted by the update. As part of the update, you have access to each decoration equal to the highest decoration on your legacy. So again, it's just like the highest thing you've got, that's going to be the thing that's going to take over. if there has to be something that has to be overwritten. So you can potentially see there where there might be some concern, but I think they're probably going to have it figured out, you know, the best they can. Reputations will not be impacted, and that's like, once again, highest rep, blah, blah, legacy. Family trees, all family trees will be reset. So keep a note on that. You'll have to redo your peeps. Now, regarding the character limit, wait, was that in here or was that down below? Because that was one I definitely wanted to talk about. Somewhere in this, there was a thing about character limit. Oh, yeah, here it is. What happens to my character? So 52 on a server, it's possible to have more than 52 if you're like a crazy person. And you have, there was one guy on the forums who was like, I have 150. What's going to happen? The devs said that they'll all transfer. So even though the limit's 52, you'll still have your 150 all on the one server, potentially. But the downside is you will not be able to make any more tunes. That is what they said. Now, whether or not they change that in the future, you know, who knows. They might have to go through this process in order to get everything worked out. And then, you know, of course, they can always make changes later. So I think that is really the gist of the server mergers. So I guess, does anybody have any questions on that before we move on to the other stuff? So Torgakin, I think I answered your question. Not unless you just popped in and you missed it. Also, are we still dropping frames? I think we are. Yeah, the 150, there's like a bunch of like 10 to 20s. You're probably right. Probably right. Musco mentioned on the forums they are looking to increase the limits on the characters. Yep, that doesn't surprise me. Well, I think we'll go ahead and move over to the next part then, which is going to be exactly what is this United Forces campaign. And this is going to be partially a buzzword for marketing, because I think whenever you're doing something like this, it's good to come up with something like this. And I think they've come up with a pretty solid name. You could, you know, even though they're not doing an expansion this year, you could almost consider this to be the expansion. It's the United Forces expansion for Star Wars: The Old Republic. That's basically what it is. Oh, gotcha. So, what is United Forces? It says here, starting on October 10th, and through a series of updates all the way through November 28th, we're making improvements to the way players come together in multiplayer experiences that make everything more accessible, convenient, rewarding, and so on. As we've outlined in the other thing we just looked at, so they're basically merging servers, which we know. Now here they actually give a breakdown, which we're going to skip the breakdown for the time being. Oh, Avi got a PUBG win. That's cool. So, as far as the gameplay direction, right here, they're actually talking about the first two boss encounters. And they're basically just giving a little bit of an outline of what's been going on. So now, this is where it picks up. It says here, based on feedback we've seen on the forums, fan sites, social channels, and so on, we have lots more to deliver on November 28th. Following the United Forces update, we're going to be releasing our biggest multiplayer update of the year. We've got something for everyone. If you like story-driven Star Wars battles, we've got that. If you can jump into the new Flashpoint, a traitor among the Chiss. All right, so boom right there, confirmed. We have another Flashpoint coming. So that's going to be pretty cool. If you like the blasting blazer bolts of battle bosses, you'll be able to face the next boss, which is going to be the third boss in Gods from the Machine. So we've got that coming. For those looking for dogfighting in space, we are releasing a new Galactic starfighter map that is going to orbit around Iokath. So there we go. New Galactic starfighter map confirmed. And then for those who want to face off in PvP, we've got a new location for you as well. Now, the PvP ground map, that was confirmed in the last roadmap, but they've gone ahead and reconfirmed it here in this roadmap. So that's pretty cool. I think you're totally wrong on that, by the way. The expansion budget was not spent on the servers because BioWare does not own the servers. EA does. They were EA upgrades, not BioWare upgrades. So you are incorrect on that. All right, moving on. So, plus the update will include a multitude of additional features. My favorite includes an enhanced group finder that makes grouping up more quick and easy, legacy bank improvements, and means of bolstering a character to level 70. All right, so we just went through a couple of really quick things that they were a little vague on. So again, an enhanced group finder, they don't really say exactly what that means. You know, of course, with the server mergers happening, we're already going to be getting an enhanced group finder of sorts because the queue is going to be popping like crazy. It shouldn't be a problem for anybody. Now, a means of boosting a character to 70, that's going to be really interesting because right now, the only way to do it is by paying money to get a token to get the boost. So if they're actually going to do it so you have some way of doing it via some sort of in-game, what is in-game, you know, tokens or currency or by some other method, that's really, really interesting. And then, of course, the legacy bank improvements, which I believe they actually go into a little bit deeper down in here somewhere. Hopefully, we'll be able to find it and not skip it. All right. And where did I leave off here? And so they go on to say we are also hard at work at featuring stuff for early 2018. And this is also going to be a big one, an overhauling of the conquest system with a stronger focus on daily activities and giving all guilds and players access to some great rewards. So I think that's something that's definitely needed. The conquest system hasn't really been touched that much since the launch of the conquest system. So I think the people who are actually getting into that, that's going to be a great thing for them. All right. So any more questions before we move on? Yeah, there is some stuff on Galactic Command. We're going to get to that here in just a second. They're making some pretty good changes to Galactic Command. Do you think the boost will autocomplete all the expansions? That's a good question. Because right now, if you make a level 70 via the token, it kicks you right into Chapter 1. But no, that's a good question for the developers. I might have to ask them about that one. And only one companion returning Ensign Temple. Actually, here somewhere they talk about multiple companions returning. I think the Ensign Temple thing, wasn't that data mined info? So it could be wrong. So, moving forward with the story and companions. They just briefly talk about what has just happened, which we already know about for the most part. But then they do jump into, let me find the line here real quick. Let's see. So they talk about, we know how impactful the story has been for you. A lot of people were really upset by this person doing things, if you don't know. And so they saw, knowing, or perhaps knowing the story transitions actually to this crisis on the planet of, and actually is this, or not crisis, Chiss on the planet. Is this actually the, I'm sure one of you guys know, is this the Chiss homeworld? Does anybody know? Is it Caprio? Is that how you say it? But it's basically going to transition over to the next section of the storyline on November 28th, a traitor among the Chiss, which is going to be game update 5.6. And it's like, although I won't reveal the things. Well, of course you're not. Keith, you crazy person. Now, the next line in here is actually really, really interesting. It says that I can confirm that the thrilling conclusion to this chapter of the story is coming next year, and on a planet you probably won't expect to return to. What planet could that possibly be? I hope it's one of the old worlds. That'd be great.
Enjoy your stay.
The Green Vernum, thanks for the follow. So AV saying if you look on the Facebook picture, they have Hoth. Yeah, Hoth would be a weird one to return to. The Chiss on Hoth. Well, Brian, as much as I would love it to be Dantooine, it says a planet you would return to, and we've never been to Dantooine, unfortunately. But yeah, Hoth would be a neat one. Tatooine would be another neat one. Terrace. Voss. If it's on Hoth, Novika's done. Okay, so Rafferty, that's not the Chiss homeworld then? Or is it just part of their system? Your bet is on Nathema, or Nathema. I don't think it's going to be the starting planet. Because then they'd have to do, like, I don't know, 4 different versions. Which would be pretty crazy. What about if the Chiss returned home? Maybe. I think for the most part, they're a race that a lot of people like. Especially with, Thrawn and all. Even though, this is way before his time. If they actually did something meaningful with that, I think that'd be really, really cool. So the bottom line for all of this is that the story is going to continue in the update this year, and then it's going to continue into next year at some point, and they'll go ahead and end this thing. So let's switch on over to Galactic Command, because this is always a hot topic. So since the introduction back with Knights of the Eternal Throne, people have been making their way through this. So really, what are they changing here, right? What are they changing, all right? So based on the most recent feedback, we're going to make additional changes, which will include the following. And this first one I really, really like, all right? So Galactic Command content improvements. We are adding an additional slot with each crate that no matter what tier you're in, grants a small chance to receive a higher tier mod enhancement, grand chance cube, CXP buff, or XP consumable. CXP consumable. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second, because first of all, grants a small chance to receive a higher mod enhancement. All right, I'm okay with that. You know what? I'd be okay if they even did current tier mod enhancement. That's all right. The fact that you could potentially get a CXP consumable every single time, I think that's a great idea. So right now we're having to spend points to get those things. Now, the other two, a CXP buff. So you just open it and you get a buff. Well, that might be fishy, because what if you're doing other things and you get a buff and you're like, well, I don't have time to use this for whatever reason, you know, I don't know. And then Grand Chance Cube, it seems to me like if they were going to do a Grand Chance Cube, they should add an additional slot. So give us 2 additional slots and have, you should have the one additional slot that has the mod enhancement. So a guaranteed mod and enhancement every single time, whether it's same tier or higher tier. Then have the second additional slot be your random, you know, chance cube buff consumable. That's how I would do it. So it's this, again, it's an improvement, but I think it could still be just a little bit better. A little bit better. All right. Next up is another legacy perk. How many do we have now? Like a million? For each character that reaches command rank 300, we will automatically add an additional 25% bonus CXP to your entire legacy, up to a maximum of 100%. You do need to purchase the initial 25 perk, but then the additional 75% after that will be free. And yes, this perk is retroactive. So again, that's fine. I got no problem with that. It seems pretty solid. Next up is the CXP for all areas of the game is in review. Now, of course, this came into effect after the bug that happened. And I think that bug really opened up the eyes of the developers and the players that some really interesting things could be done with that particular format. You know, I could almost do another video on that completely, talking about new events, you know, daily events, weekly events, monthly events that just involve that type of thing, getting people to go back to areas of the game that were basically dead to at least some degree, or just, you know, moving it around and stuff. So I think that's a great idea. So they'll probably do a bump across the board in certain areas, but I do think that they should be doing, you know, these little mini events, like I just said, that, oh, here's a 200% CXP for the next 24 hours at this location, then this location, then this location. They move it around. And whether it's a day, week, you know, whatever. It's another sort of dynamic that could add to the game, which is pretty cool. And basically this bullet point just goes on to talk about kind of what I just said. It's like planetary daily areas, CXP, makes, you know, everybody happier, blah, blah, blah. Then finally, they also are talking a little bit more about the update name, the trader among the chiss. They're going to change how the disintegrate works. Instead of receiving more CXP, we'll provide you with an unassembled component for armor and weapons. In addition, you'll be able to send those components to any character in your legacy, as we are changing these to be legacy-bound consumables. So there we go. That is definitely going to help people get their alts leveled up a little bit better. So that is going to be nice. So any questions, thoughts, comments on Galactic Command, anybody? And actually down below, they talk about it just a little bit more as well. Love hearing about the retroactive perk. Yep. Oh, Trig, you've actually got 5 at 300 after the month of dailies. Yeah. Sounds like you might need to play SWTOR again. Okay, Trig, you asked what was the difference between a buff and a consumable. I think Canadian Bacon kind of answered that to a degree. But yeah, a buff, and this is my interpretation of it, as soon as you would open that pack and you'd get that, it'd just go boom right onto your bar, and you'd have no choice. Where a consumable is going to be a thing that goes into your inventory and you can click on it. I mean, it would seem to me, I don't know, that's kind of weird. Why have a buff and a consumable? They should probably just combine them to a consumable.
Enjoy your stay.
Right? That seems a little weird. Yeah, I would say, let's get rid of this buff, replace it with something else. So the question is, what could we replace it with? If they want to stay with the 4-item format, what would we replace that with? What are your guys' thoughts on that? What could they replace that with? So if we're getting mod enhancement, chance cube, CXP consumable, what's going to be our 4th? I mean, I'm sitting here trying to think on what it would be. It's like, would you go a regular XP booster that's not bound? Maybe. Why not make the consumable an option of 1? A C XP buff or 2 an XP... Oh, that's interesting. An actual just CXP gain. That's actually a good point, Krim. Just have it be an unassembled piece or component. That's a good idea. Hey, Mox, how's it going? A new level of Galactic Command? Yeah, so I think an additional unassembled piece or component, that's probably the best thing that I've seen so far. So yeah, they could do a mod enhancement, chance cube, unassembled, CXP consumable. So that's going to wrap up Galactic Command. We'll move down here briefly. So this was one of my concerns going into the roadmap, and that's operation. Initially, they said early on that they were going to have all 5 bosses done by the end of the year. Question is are they going to make it happen? So right here it says next... Well, actually, let's back up. So the 3rd boss is going to be in the next patch. Then it says next month we'll begin testing on the 4th boss encounter. And then it says here in... Then you can expect... yeah, so to early 2018 is when the last one will be. And then they also talked about master modes for each boss fight as well. So, looks like they're not going to make the end of the year for the complete raid, but they're going to get pretty close. So we should have 4 out of the 5, and then early, probably in January, I'd imagine. Because if we go back to, yeah, November 28th, so it's hard to say whether or not they're going to have one in another update in December. I would guess January. So the full raid will be probably complete. Like I said, my guess would be January. They did mention in here as well that they are expecting the last boss to be super, super hard. So we will have to see on that. Oh, we won't see Boss 4 this year? So yeah, because today it is October now, so next month would be November for their testing on the 4th boss. Testing starts in November. Yeah, we haven't actually gone over the this section yet. So moving on, they had a brief paragraph talking about class balancing. We know that's something that is ongoing. They actually said in a recent dev post that when their class balance is done for this session, that they are going to do a balance on utilities, and then they're also going to take a look at additional balances at that given time. So I don't know if there's really any more that needs to be said about that. Next, we can move on to PvP. Now, it says right here, starting with the United Forces update, they are increasing the bolster to 242 for the non-ranked war zones and arenas. It says, which does not remove the gear chase, but gives everyone a fighting chance. Now, I don't do a lot of PvP in the game, but I'd be curious to know, for those of you who do, what do you think about that? Do you agree with that, or do you not like it? Giving everybody, I guess, a more equal chance to kill each other, so to speak. Avi, you're funny. So, moving on with that, well, I'm sort of looking at your guys' answers on that. Since many of us like to PvP on a variety of characters with a trader among the Chiss update, which is 5.6, your unassembled components will become legacy bound. You can now focus your entire legacy on gearing up one or more characters a lot faster. In addition, we will release the new PvP map along with the new Galactic starfighter map located in the orbit above Iocath. So I don't think I've seen anything on exactly where the ground map is going to be. We just know that the space map is going to be above Iocath. So, with Game Update 5.5, we will introduce extensive ship and customization balance changes to Galactic Starfighter. Additionally, we'll be adding some quality of life improvements to Galactic Starfighter. It'll be really interesting to see what that is. Because I'll tell you, my current experience with Galactic Starfighter is that I will queue up and one of two things happens every time. It's one, I am either on the winning team, which completely decimates the opponents, no challenge at all, or I am on the losing team where we get destroyed and we have no chance. So they need to find a balance in Galactic Starfighter. Now, when they actually merge the servers, that might fix that problem. Because from what I understand, when it comes to the Starfighter community, there is a very tight group who play that game. And I'm sure there's a lot of pre-made groups, and that's what they do a lot in this game, and so they're really, really good at it. So it's almost like the ground PvP as well. It's like if you're going up against a pre-made, unless you're also in a pre-made, you're probably going to get destroyed. But yeah, if there's anything they can do to try and make these things a little bit better, that's always going to be, you know, helpful and better for new players coming in. And one of the other things I said about Starfighter is if they ever merge the servers, I kind of hope that they actually split the queuing into two different tiers. There might be a way for them to actually, you know, based on how many points you've put into, you know, the trees and the weapons and all this and that, maybe somehow come up with a scoring system or gearing system based on that and say, okay, if you are 0 to 100, you're going to be in this queue. If you're 101 to 300 or whatever, you're in this queue. And that would then separate the people who have fully tricked out ships going against the new players. I kind of consider that to be the Call of Duty issue a little bit, because some of those games like Call of Duty and Battlefield, it's like, oh, you've got the people who have been playing forever and they're just fully geared out and stuff, and you got a new person who comes in, they have no chance. They'll never get a kill. They'll never win a game. Again, well, not unless they're with a good group or something, but it's kind of like they need to find some way to equalize that. And I think, when you look at games like Overwatch and PUBG, those are games where when you start the match, everybody is on a equal playing field. And then from there, you allow the match to develop. That's good PvP. Now, if SWTOR can figure out a way to do that, I think the PvP in this game would be so much better. And that's why Overwatch and PUBG are so huge. Because they've got a formula that works really, really well for player versus player stuff. So Krim was saying, honestly, it would be nice if PvP was sorted out more based on gear instead of just levels. Yeah, and again, with the servers merging, maybe they can do something with those queues. And, of course, they've got the bolstering thing, and I think that's their answer right now to try and level the playing field. Whether or not it's going to work, I don't know. They ought to practice Galactic Starfighter training, dummy scenarios to help those. And they could maybe even do a PvE version of Galactic Starfighter. Man, I'm wondering how difficult that would be to program. Instead of enemy player ships, just have it be AI. I mean, I'm sure that would take some doing, but it's like everything is already there. All you would have to do is program the bots. I think something like that would interest certain people a lot more. Be something to think about. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to quality of life here just a little bit. I see that my internet is still being crappy, everyone. I apologize. I think you can hear me okay, but visually the stream is a little glitchy, and terrible night for me to be having internet issues. There's nothing I can do about it, though. But yep, quality of life. A little paragraph on this. So the big thing that they talked about here is a cool change we are delivering with a trader among the chiss is the ability to add credits to your legacy bank. You will retain the ability to have credits on your character, so this will work very similar to how you use the guild bank. And I will point out that this was something that Star Wars Galaxies did back in 2003. A lot of people like that system. Yep, similar to how it's going to be done in the guild bank, but it's for all of your legacy characters. And then after reviewing your feedback, we decided to limit currency changes to credits and unassembled components as to provide the most positive and impactful change. That's a good one, Kel. I don't think they talked about that in the roadmap either. I have seen a lot on that. A lot of people complaining about the game getting super, super toxic. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the server mergers. Does that go away? Does it get worse? And maybe they want to see that before they make any more changes. In a sense, that does make sense. It's like, all right, let's go ahead and do this big change. Let's see what happens. Then if people are still being jerks, then maybe we do something about it. But no, I mean, it's definitely... And I'm trying to figure out what word I want to use here. I don't know if I want to use the word unacceptable or not, but player griefing of any description is not good. It's not welcome. And there's definitely seems like there's a lot of that going on here recently. The credit spammers, they've talked about that multiple times. They've said that they're working on stuff. There could be some stuff going on in the back end that we don't know about. So that brings us to the official schedule. So I'm just let me go back through this to make sure we didn't miss anything. We kind of hit up on all the main key points here. So yeah, I think we'll take a stab at the actual schedule here. So this weekend is the New York Cantina. They've got some info here, but for those who are not going, don't really need to say too much about that. Hopefully somebody will be streaming this. I know there were a couple of people in chat that I've talked to who said they're going. So hopefully one of you can just take your phone, I don't care if you prop it on a table, and just try and stream it. And I don't care where you stream it. If you just stream it to Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. If you want to get in contact with me, you know, if you're somebody who's like, you know, I don't stream on Twitch or whatever, but I could put it on and stream to Facebook. If you want to get in contact with me, if you want me to basically forward your stream to Twitch or something, I can do that. So if anybody's going and they're going to try and stream it to something that's not Twitch, let me know. We'll see if we can work something out. So moving on is the big one for October 10th. 5-5, which is the United Forces. So what are we getting with this? We are getting the unassembled components will not drop on the Master Mode bosses, the improvements to Galactic Starfighter, the PvP bolster to 242, the light versus dark pop-up will now display less frequently. I don't know. I didn't have a problem with that. I guess people did. Improvements to the Iocath daily area. We've dramatically reduced the Iocath currency requirement for a variety of the daily quests. New Galactic Command Rank Legacy perk that will give you 100% CXP bonus under the command rank of 3000. We are getting the new companion customization vendor available on the fleet. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what they have in that. The vendor will sell, I mean, in addition to what I'm about to say, the vendor will sell older companion customizations for the opposite faction. Then it's like, you know, XE Republic player could now get the old vet or whatever. A lot of that makes sense. Hopefully they'll have more. The additional class balance changes. I think a lot of classes are getting nerfed pretty good. That's what I'm saying. Introduction of taxi points into Yavin and Tatooine strongholds for faster navigation. Cartel market store changes. All right. And then United Forces structural changes, improvements not visible. And then on October 24th, as we prepare for United Forces update, we are planning on extended downtime on this day as we need to roll out all of the new hardware and infrastructure changes. Hashtag get rid of server mergers. Then we got 5/5/1, November 8th. They're actually going to be doing the full week and bringing back the double XP, Command XP, Valor, and Rec, which would be really nice. Oh, there actually is one thing that I missed up here. I just read a line down there. They're doing a thing. Where was that at? Was that on this page or the other page? There was a thing where they were talking about a bunch of gifts that they're going to be giving out. Where's that at? Wasn't on the other page, was it? Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, here we go. All right, so during the United Forces going live, they're basically doing an event. It's going to be November 8th through November 27th. All right, so simply log in to play to get a new mini pet for anybody who's into mini pets. It's inspired by one of the classic Operation bosses, Kraga. That should be. Is it? There's no picture of that, is there? Is everybody going to get like a little baby hut thing? That'd be cool. So the next one after that is you'll be able to earn a new companion. Simply complete 3 PvE or 3 PvP missions during or through the group finder by the deadline of November 27th to get the Darth companion. Hexrid. Next one after that is unlock the... What were you saying, Matthew? Scroll down. Anywho, so the next bullet point is plus unlock the new United Forces Group Recon achievement when you complete 3 PvE Group Finder activities and get the United Forces Warzone Recon achievement when you complete 3 PvP matches through the Group Finder. Finally, once the patch goes live, get double, well, we actually just kind of talked about this, the double XP, double everything through November 14th. And then it's like, note all achievements are unlocked in-game as earned, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, Mox is saying the companion is from the last summer's DLC event, the one that we didn't get. Which makes sense. You know, they spent all that time, you know, doing that character model. They might as well give it out, right? Oh, Canadian Bacon said the same thing. I missed it. Oh, there is a picture of the pet. It's down here. Oh, the page maybe. Oh, all right. There we go. It's his little robot with the bell hat. There we go. Cool. It's actually kind of a funny pet. So that covered that bullet point. So we're kind of going back to the schedule, which the one version is up here. But really, the dates to look at are October 10th is 5/5. October 24th is going to be the downtime. The 8th is going to be the United Forces update is rolled out. And then the 28th is 5/6, which is going to be the trader among the chiss. Now, for the 28th, I'm going to assume that that's the flashpoint. Okay, so yeah, the November 28th, that's really the big one. So it's going to be third boss, new flashpoint, new PvP map, new starfighter map, group finder revamp, the utility adjustments, the launch of the legacy-wide currencies, Galactic command upgrade with the disintegrate system, Ensign Temple returning, and then the rewards for that event, which it basically is. And then for the second, quality of life, 6-year anniversary, which they have not talked about. Life Day, which a lot of people really like that. And then we got Mr. Chiss here. And that's basically the end of the roadmap. It says, I'll look ahead to 2018, but it's basically kind of some of the stuff we already talked about. It's like the final boss in Gods of the Machine and the Master Mode and the conclusion of the chapter story, the upgraded conquest system, more multiplayer gameplay experience, both PvP and PvE. So, that's the roadmap. It was pretty long. I think it was longer than the first one they did by a little bit. So it covers what is basically 4 major dates, and then in addition to some of this other stuff that's down here. So I guess what's my sort of final thoughts on this? I think first of all, I'm really surprised they're doing server mergers this year. As my regular viewers know, I called that months ago. I said they were doing server mergers, but I thought it was going to be next year. So I'm really happy that they're getting it out so quick. That's going to be really, really cool. And hopefully from there, they'll be able to work out the bugs. Actually, I saw somebody in chat earlier saying something about whether or not the server mergers are going to go smooth. They've done server mergers before, and from what I can recall, I mean, you guys might be able to back me up, Mox. I don't recall any issues with the previous server mergers. I thought it all went pretty smooth. And they got new tech, so hopefully it should go pretty well. As I've said in the past, I'm always a big fan of flashpoints, so I'm always happy to see another flashpoint. That's really cool. The Galactic Starfighter map and changes, we'll see. I'm very skeptical on Galactic Starfighter. And it's, like I said before, I've just had so many bad experiences with it recently. I mean, not even just recently, like the last, 6 months. I would just love to see a big overhaul of Galactic Starfighter to make it fun again. Of course, the new PvP map. That'll be great. PvPers are always looking for new stuff, so that'd be cool. So what are my thoughts on the enhanced group finder? Will it be cross-faction? Is that the same question for both things there? Will it be cross-faction? Probably not. That'd be my guess. But as far as the enhanced group finder itself, I think we need more info on it. I'd like to see more on it before we get too crazy with it. You wonder if the mergers with the newer hardware will allow for more engine updates? Maybe. You think the main issue before was that guilds didn't transfer along with the people? And they said here in this update that was going to work this time, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, I don't recall having any guild issues last 2 times. Back to the group finder revamp, it's like upgrades how you queue for multiplayer and solo activities, huge bonuses for all random choices, but also allows for easy selection or individual activities. I kind of got to see it. I don't know. This is kind of vague. It's like you can already kind of do this. So what are they? I don't know what they're changing. We need more info. Of course, letting people play the way they want is really, really important in games like this. So whenever they give more options about legacy-wide, either currencies, components, different kinds of currencies, just whatever they can do to spread that out and make it shareable and all that, that's only going to make the game better, I think. Because it definitely seems like the days of having one character and everything within that one character is just bound to that one character, and you have to literally grind every single alt like an individual character. It seems like those days are gone. People just aren't interested in it anymore. Yeah, you're definitely right. The name issue, that's going to be a problem. I guarantee that's going to be a problem. That's always been a problem with every MMO that's ever existed whenever they do server mergers. It's like, I didn't get my name. This right here, the upgraded degeneration, or disintegrate system, I should say, that's a great idea. Novik, I'll talk to the devs for you. I mean, wait, what was that? Avi's gonna take your name. It's gonna be Aveline Novik, the smuggler. Green Venom, I'll talk to the devs for you too. Also, here's something else. This was not on the roadmap. BioWare needs to open up a store. They need to sell these shirts. These shirts are great. I would buy so many of these. And I would give them away. It baffles my mind on why they have not opened a store to buy SWTOR gear. I think they'd make a lot of money in doing it. You're scared now. Well, I'm going to switch screens here for just a second, and I think it might show my camera off. I got to fix it here real quick. Give me just a second. It's like, camera's not available. Ah, this thing is so dumb sometimes. Hold your phone. Hold your phone here. Because I think, ladies and gentlemen, since there's so many lovely people here in chat, I think it's time that we do some giveaways. I have the latest and greatest codes from BioWare. So give me 1 second to set this up. You got 4 of those shirts? You got a drunken Irishman. Wait, what? You're talking crazy, Avi. Crazy. So, for this first giveaway, we are going to do winner's choice. Meaning, if you win, you can choose from any BioWare code that I have. That means Subtime, Cartel Coins, or Sweet Baby Tauntauns. Cool? Cool. All right. Got to make sure that this is working. It's kind of acting funny. All right, we'll give this a try here. Hopefully it works. So the keyword for this giveaway is going to be Jedi. So type the word Jedi into chat right now, and that will get you entered in for the giveaway. So here we go. Do, 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 do. My camera's gonna freeze my face in like funny positions, so I should just do this. So we'll roll through this giveaway here real quick.
Enjoy your stay.
And then maybe we'll even do another one. So many Jedis. Right now there are 22 Jedis to be exact. Who typed in Sith? How dare you, sir? All right, we're going to give this maybe 30 more seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and roll it out. All right. Do. We now have 24 Jedi. Yeah, I always find this puzzling because we have like 53 people watching and there's 25 entries. It's always like only half the chat enters these giveaways. I don't get it. Do you not want free stuff? Kill. All right, we're going to roll for this first one right now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. SWTOR John, you are a crazy person. Let me know what you want. Also, I should mention that my subscriber-only giveaway for Twitch, I will be rolling for that tonight after the stream. The winner of that will be able to choose from any cartel item that they want. Any item, they can have it. And then for the month of October, we're going to do the same thing. Okay. Has SWTOR John replied to me yet? Gotta find his name in this mess. SWTOR John, can you say something? It's so much easier when they can say something that I can just click on them and give them the code. Ah, there we go. SWTOR John, what did you want? The coins comment. For Novik to get the prize. Oh, you want coins? All right. You may have said it before. I just missed it because there's so many people talking. Alrighty then. Cartel coin devices. And there you go. All right. We're going to immediately jump into giveaway number 2. But this one, I get to choose. This one is going to be for a sweet baby Tauntaun. So let me reset. Who does not have their sweet baby Tauntaun? So the keyword for this one is going to be sweet. SWEET. Enter it in now for your chance to win the sweet baby Tauntaun. It's a pet. It's the Tauntaun Fawn that's in game. Oh, hey, Cassandra. It's funny, I've got one of my normal viewers tried to get that Tauntaun for like 3 months. And he could never manage to win a giveaway. And then finally, one day he got it. It was pretty funny. Yeah, a lot of people aren't into the whole pet thing. I'm not really either. You know what? I'll be honest. I'm surprised that they have not brought pet battles into this game yet. I think it's a matter of time. I'm throwing my money down on the table for that one. You know, and of course, if you already have it, you can take the code and give it to one of your friends. Yeah, it's just a code. So yeah, you can give it away if you want. Yeah, pet battles would be Galactic Pokemon. There you go. Because you know what, they could do that because they've already done something similar to a degree. Because they've got those binocular things in the game where it actually, you know, you put them on and it brings up that interface and you can like scan things. They could do that with pets and animals and stuff. It's like, all right, let's scan for that baby Tauntaun thing. Oh, there's one over there. Get it. You know, another great use of that would actually be a player bounty system, but that's a subject for another day. Micro binoculars, thank you. Player bounty system. Identify your target. You don't know who your target is. You just know they're in an area. You got to send out a droid. It says, your target's on Tatooine. All right, you get to Tatooine, you send out another droid. Gives you a general location. Then you have to use the binoculars to tag the person. Then they go red to you. But they don't know who you are, right? Basically, it's the Galaxy system, but improved, right? So then you can make your sneak attack upon them, but as soon as you strike the first blow, then they can counterattack and fight it out and stuff, so. Yeah, I love Galaxies. Galaxies was a great game. Okay, the sweet baby Tauntaun goes to, here we go, uno, dos, tres, boom. Chase 333. If you could say something in chat real quick, Chase, I would appreciate it. Bum, 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 bum. How bad are we still dropping frames? Has it stabilized? It may have stabilized. There's Chase. Chase, you are rigged. There's your code. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and flip screens back. Do. So I guess we're going to be sort of wrapping this thing up. Anybody have any final questions regarding the roadmap? Anything you guys want to talk about? I'll tell you, we've got some more Twitch streams coming up here. We've also got Star Wars Battlefront 2 this week. We'll be playing it live here on Twitch. That'll be great. Hopefully my internet will not be completely crappy. Also, there is another SWTOR show that's going on right now. I think they're just getting ready to start the console SWTOR. We will be hosting them as soon as we wrap this thing up. That's Sakari's. I think it's Sakari, Redna, Magic Ace, and sorry, I'm forgetting who the fourth is. Have I got the questions for Quiplash rewrote yet? No, I do not. Oh, did their show just get done? I thought their show was after mine by a little bit. I didn't realize we were running at the same time. Oh, hey, Hyperspace, how's it going? Oh, Elise, 9 p.m. Thank you. That's 9 Eastern, I think, right? So it'd be 8 my time. And I started at 7:30. Quit slacking. Oh, I know. It's Kel's fault. I can just blame Kel and it's fine. He's holding me back. He doesn't trust me. I want to move forward, but he won't let me. Well, I am going to be I am going to be porting this over to YouTube. It'll be on YouTube in the morning. Oh, hey Kel, what's going on? I didn't see you there. It's also Novik's fault. Well, that's true. Double blame, double blame. Am I going to pass that fireball you're drinking? No, it's Everclear. Straight Everclear. Just... burns when it goes down. Or wait, Yoda. Looking, found somebody, you have him. Something like that. So yeah, I think the Battlefront 2 streams will start on Wednesday, probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe all the rest of the week. Tomorrow will either be SWTOR or XCOM. I'm not sure which. And, you know, depending on how the Battlefront 2 stuff goes, we might stream another SWTOR later in the week. It's hard to say. And, of course, we've got Saturday morning SWTOR every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So always keep an open eye for that show as well. But, yeah, I think, ladies and gentlemen, that's probably going to go ahead and do it for the stream. I'll try and find somebody to host, but we'll see who I can find. This is so your fault. I had to spend all weekend working on Novik's new transition. And you know what? I'm going to show you guys Novik's transition because I have that kind of power. He's like, Kid Lee, I want you to make me the most awesome transition that's ever existed. So I'm like, fine, I will. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to do this. Right.
Enjoy your stay.
Have you even gotten to use that yet, Novik? That's funny. Let me go ahead and switch back to my normal one. He's like, I want the Batman thing, but with my stuff. And I'm like, done. Easy peasy. All right, guys and gals, I think that will officially go ahead and do it for tonight's stream. So thank you all so much for watching. Everybody have a fantastic rest of your day or evening, wherever you are in the world. Non-spoilers, and we'll see you guys next time, hopefully tomorrow night. So, see you guys then.